The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Burkeen. Brought to you by Medine's Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medine's. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Burkeen.
Hi everyone, Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We've got a great guest today, Jerrod Baugh, the head coach of Ruston High School. They made it to the state championship game, first state championship game since 1998. 1990, they were state champs, national champs in the United States in 1990. Look, I can back it up. We're going to talk about it. One of the greatest teams I've ever seen in my life was that 90 team. And Coach Ball's done a great job. We're going to have a great show with him. We're going to talk about Ruston, the history of Ruston, all the great players that have come out of Ruston. We're not going to have enough time for that, but we're going to talk about his current team. We're going to even have highlights on his top players. We'll be right back.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We're at the Giulio Brothers Italian Restaurant on Perkins Road, which is a mile from Acadian. It's not far from College Drive and right, skipping a hop from LSU's campus. Be sure to support them. They have brunch on Sunday from 10:30 to 2 and the regular menu. And I like the chicken parmesan and the homemade pizza and the homemade meatballs. If you eat a meatball, that's probably all you need because it's about 10 pounds. Looks like a bowling ball on the bowling team, right? But I want to go ahead and introduce our guest, Coach Jerrod Baugh, the head coach of Ruston High School. Jerrod, thank you for being here, coming all the way from Ruston, Louisiana.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything we can do to promote our football team and football program in school and community.
Congratulations to you. I know it, I'm going to say runner-up, but congratulations to you. I mean, y'all hadn't made a state championship game since 98. You take your team. I mean, y'all were knocking on the door the last 3-4 years. You've done a phenomenal job with the program, the Bearcats. We're going to try and get all the history out. We're going to try our best. There's so many great players. But, Coach, what was it like for you to be able to go to the Dome, get the team there, hit that next level? I mean, I've been grinding.
Well, it was really special for the kids. This group of seniors were able to accomplish a lot of things that hadn't been done in a long time.
Yeah.
Went in an outright district championship this year, which involved beating West Monroe, and hadn't beaten those guys since 1990.
Yeah.
And pushing past the quarterfinal round, we had gone to the quarterfinal round the last 4 years, and couldn't get past that. And they were able to accomplish that, and then making it back to the state championship, like you said, it hadn't been done since 1998. And I guess the only thing that they weren't able to accomplish was winning that last ball game. But, hats off to those guys for being able to accomplish that. And it really caught on to our community. I mean, there was a really big turnout, for the playoffs and for sure at the state championship game. And, really pleased for our kids and community.
8 state championships at Ruston High School. 8. That's a lot. 1 national championship. National championship meaning that they award that nationally to the top high school in 1990, and 3 runner-ups. 2022 coach's team, and look, they got a lot of talent coming back at Ruston. I know you got to replace your quarterback, Jaden Osborne, who did a heck of a job for you. Your running back was a heck of a running back, but you got a lot of key pieces coming back, Coach, to build around.
Yeah, offensively, probably trying to replace probably 80% of the statistical leaders that we had in Jaden and Dyson and Aaron Jackson, a quarterback, running back, receiver. But we do have some guys coming that we're looking forward to seeing what they can do. Got a glance at Jordan Hayes this year.
We're gonna talk about the young guys when we play highlights, but I want to ask you about you guys moving on. Your receiver was phenomenal.
Aaron
Aaron
yes.
was unbelievable. I mean, I saw him as a junior. I saw him at Neville, and then when he came to your school, he just did the light bulb just twicker on. I mean, he was phenomenal at senior year.
Well, I think it was he and Jaden's relationship. He went to junior high at Ruston and was with us his freshman and sophomore year, and made the move to Monroe, and then decided to come back. And I think those two developed a really close relationship for a lot of years, and used to catch them jumping the fence to get into the school and throwing and catching whenever they were in junior high. And I think that just caught on, and those guys, the work that they put in at even a young age, I think paid off for us for sure this year.
I want to mention this, as graduating seniors, which are still in high school this year. Jaden Osborne's going to Louisiana Tech. Mason Skipper's going to Louisiana Tech. Dyson Fields going to Louisiana Tech. Christian Davis, a big stud D tackle, Northwestern State. And then you got Aaron Jackson going to Grambling. That's a steal. And then Dyler Richmond, the long snapper's going to Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech's getting some great players from you.
I think so. I think Coach Cumbie had an opportunity to watch some ball games this year, and really trust the fact. I think me and him have a relationship from before he was at Louisiana Tech, and trust the fact that those guys have the character and school. Academically, they're going to be in good shape to be able to get there, and so I think he's getting some really good ball players.
Incredible job Coach Baugh did last year, and I want to go ahead and we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more with Coach Baugh at Ruston High School. We're going to talk about the history of the school. I'm going to name as many players as I can. There's a bunch. Burt Jones, Michael Brooks, Jack Hunt, Kyle Williams, who's on the staff, D coordinator, famous Kyle Williams, LSU, Buffalo Bills, should be in the Hall of Fame one day in NFL, probably College Hall of Fame one day. We'll be right back.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We've got Coach Jerrod Baugh, the head coach of Ruston High School, led his team to a state championship game in 2022. The first state championship game for Ruston since '98. Their last state title, one of 8, was 1990. The greatest team I've ever seen play. Talent-wise, team-wise, coaching-wise, the legendary Chick Childress. Coach, I was a graduating senior in '89, and me and my dad went to Baker High School. Ruston came up to play in the playoffs in '90. And when I saw Bobby Williams and Rodney Young and Ramon Malcolm at running back, I said, Daddy, is this LSU or is this a high school? All 3 running backs signed with LSU in 1 year. Bobby was 6'1", Rodney 6'2", and they had a 4th guy, Charles Green, that was 6'3", went to Nebraska. All 4 running backs went D1, Power 5, and the quarterback, Brad Laird, went to Northwestern State. Unbelievable team in '90.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I never saw those guys play, but listening to all the stories, it was pretty unbelievable from what I've heard and the highlights that I've seen.
And I don't remember the kid's name, but the best player in the team was a cornerback, about 5'3", 150. I mean, I can write into me if anybody remembers this guy's name. And he ran like a 4.5, and he was small, but he'd just take you out, on the line of scrimmage. Jerrod Baugh has coached at Ruston as offensive coordinator before he was named head coach. Longview, Texas, with Coach John King, who went to Northwestern State. Gladwater, Texas, great football there, and Wassman High School.
Yeah, been bumped around a little bit. You know, I also coached started my coaching career at Ouachita High School. There, Coach Collins, Pat Collins hired me there whenever he was there. He was actually my high school coach whenever I was playing at West Ouachita.
Wow.
And so he hired me at Ouachita, and then he ended up taking a job at Longview, and I was fortunate enough to make that trip with him and stayed there for about 10 years as an offensive coordinator when Coach King moved on to the head coach, and was head coach in Gladewater, Texas for almost 5 years. And then, you know, had some unfortunate events happen and ended up coming back home. And Dean Smith hired me at Waspin. I actually coached him whenever I was at Ouachita. And then Coach Laird hired me as offensive coordinator at Ruston. And then whenever he left and went back to Northwestern State, I was fortunate enough. The administration was really gracious to me and give me another opportunity to be a head coach, and hopefully am making the most of it.
But you got all that experience before Ruston, a ton of experience. Some more famous names, the late Fred Dean. Who can never forget Fred Dean with the San Francisco 49ers, won some Super Bowls. Went to Ruston High School. Burt Jones, LSU, first-round pick, the Baltimore Colts. Now it's the Ravens now. Bobby Williams, Rodney Young, we mentioned. Brad Laird, Northwestern State. Kyle Williams, who's on his staff. We'll talk about that later. Kentrell Bryce, Louisiana Tech. Andy Hamilton, LSU. Michael Brooks, one of the best linebackers to ever play at LSU from Ruston. Isaiah Buggs went to Alabama, still in the NFL to this day, defensive end. Mike Green and Kenny Wright both went to Northwestern State. Great DBs, played in the NFL a long time. Paul Lyons was a quarterback at Ruston when Burt Jones was at Ruston and at LSU. Two quarterbacks at Ruston the same time. Scotty Thurman played basketball, was an All-American at Arkansas. And, Coach, you said that Scotty is going to be bringing his team from Arkansas, I believe, to Ruston to play a game. You're going to honor him this year.
He is. Coach Bond just told me the other day that he's got that lined up, and we're going to have a ceremony there for him, and I think that's going to be a really special deal for him coming back.
Jimmy Chick Childress, legendary coach, won 4 state titles at Ruston, and also Hoss Garrett, the name of the stadium, won 3 state titles, and they won 1 other state title for 8 total. Coach, the legendary Hoss Garrett and Chick Childress, I mean, there's not a high school with maybe 2 bigger names than that.
You know, that's one thing I always bring up, you know, at our banquet and anytime I have an opportunity to speak is it's pretty unbelievable the opportunity that I've gotten to be the head coach at Ruston, and I don't think I fit in. You know, you start naming some names of guys that's been head coach there. But I don't take that lightly. I take that very seriously. Those guys and what they did for Ruston High School, the football program, and the community, really. You know, Coach Garrett also was the head track coach for a bunch of years, really successful with that. And, you know, we named our track meet is named after him, and his family is still really involved with our programs in school. And so it's really special and unique. And you start naming all those names of people that graduated from Ruston, and it's pretty unbelievable.
And let me throw out the late Billy Laird was the head coach at Ruston for a long time and a teacher. Great guy. Right.
And, you know, Tommy Reeder, he was the head coach whenever they went back to the state championship in 1998, and still around. And, I mean, there's just Brad Laird, you know, Billy's son, and you start naming all those names. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't feel like I fit in, but, you know, trying to earn my way. And but all of that, the rich tradition that Ruston has as far as football and really athletics period is unbelievable.
You fit in. You took your team to the state title game. That's on your resume now, Coach.
That's right.
You got a few more coming, I believe. But we're going to take a break, come back with more of Coach Jerrod Baugh, the head coach at Ruston High School. We're going to watch some highlights of some of his kids coming back. Ahmad Guidry, who's a commit to LSU, big-time defensive end. He's been playing a long time for Coach. And some of his other players we're going to see. We'll be right back.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Welcome back. Lee Burkeen, your host of Sports Scouting Report podcast. We got Coach Jerrod Baugh, the head coach at Ruston High School, doing a great job. Spring practice will be starting soon. And I want to mention we're at the Julio's Italian Brothers Restaurant on Perkins Road, not far from Acadian, not far from LSU. Be sure to come here during the week, and also brunch on Sundays, 10:30 to 2. If you're ever visiting LSU, it's a great place to come eat, being that it's not even a mile away from campus. I want to also mention, subscribe to our show. It's very important. We're growing with subscriptions. Not everybody wants to take the time to subscribe, but do it to help us. It's free, but hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and that'll help us grow and do more. We've got some plans to do interviews in Texas and Mississippi with Louisiana natives. We're going to take this on the road pretty soon, and we just need more subscribers, and just keep doing that. And go to wherever you get your podcasts. But we're going to get back to talking to Coach. And Coach, I want to mention some famous people that came out of Ruston. Now, I don't know these people personally, but 3 famous music people in the industry. What's very interesting, they all graduated in 89 and 90. And the first one's Jeff Mangum. He's with the band Neutral Milk Hotel. Never heard of him. Never heard of Class 89. There's Robert Snyder, leader of a pop band called the Apples in Stereo. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't.
Class 89. These guys must be cousins. Will Cullen Hart, pop band, the Olivia Tremer Control 90. I don't know that band either, Coach. Do you know any of these?
Never heard of those. I'm not a music buff, though. I don't guess.
But anyway, that's just for giggles. People that came out, and also Major League Baseball, George Stone, Wayne Cage. We talk about Scotty Thurman, and I want to mention the greatest player, that the late Ramon Malcolm, one of the best running backs I've ever seen play high school football. 6'3", 210, looked like Eric Dickerson back in the day at Ruston. He was also in that backfield. Rodney Young, Bobby Williams, Charles Green, and Brad Laird. Coach, we've got some talented players coming back on your team. We're going to roll some highlights of Ahmad Bro. Talk about Ahmad and the great frame he has. He's a big guy, long. As a sophomore, I saw he got on the field for you. Looks the part, has the feet. I mean, what do you think about this guy? Committed to LSU. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on Ahmad?
Really proud for him. He has worked his butt off in the classroom and out in field, weight room. Really high character kid, and I think once people meet him, I think just the vibe that you get with him, really genuine kid. But for sure, he walks in the room, you look at him, and you think, yeah, he can play.
He's that SEC guy.
Yeah. And of course, nowadays that's what they're looking for, is somebody that you just say wow whenever they walk in the room. And so, really proud for him. He's put himself in a really good position academically and athletically to give him that possibility to go play at LSU. And I think he just got his ACT score in. I think he made a 28 on his first time. And so we're really proud for him.
And he has over a 4.0 GPA.
He does.
It's not every day you see a student athlete with a 4.0 GPA.
No, and that's why, he had previously verbally committed to Duke at one time, and the people at Vanderbilt and all that. I mean, guys. You start really stop and think about when those schools were recruiting a guy. Stanford had come out to look at him, and of course, the first thing that they look at is academics before they even watch you play football. Right, and so. Right. Really special for him.
Coach, with Ahmad, being that he's 6'3", 240-ish, do you see him growing into a big DN or staying around 240, 250? Because he looks like he can gain 260, 270 easy.
Yeah, he's had a really good offseason and has put on some weight. I think he's like 255 now, if you ask him. And so particularly for us, which is a little bit different situation than what he'll run into at LSU. But we're going to have to play him inside some, and it's going to be really good experience for him to be able to play some at defensive tackle and bump him to defensive end. And it gives you a lot of flexibility scheme-wise in high school to be able to have a guy like that you can play inside and also outside and still be fast enough to pass rush and that sort of thing. You can develop some mismatches up front.
What's it like for Kyle Williams, your D coordinator, to coach him? Famous Kyle Williams, Bills, LSU. I mean, that's a heck of a combo to coach.
Yeah, I think sometimes the kids don't realize, they got a lot of guys up there that have a lot of experience on really both sides of the ball, but particularly, Kyle's played a long time in the NFL, and he's got the defensive line coach there, his coach for 30-something years, and David Taylor. And so they've got a lot of experience with some guys that have a wealth of knowledge. Now, the thing is, the longer those guys stay coaching high school football, they kind of get comfortable with that, and they think we're all crazy. But,
Right,
I think once they stop and think about like the guys that have had an opportunity to coach them, it's pretty special.
We got highlights on another DN. He looks like a twin to Bro. Last name is Guidry, good South Louisiana name. Gadorian Guidry, who's also a big specimen, got a lot of ability.
Yeah, and I've often said, and we call them twins there because they look really, really similar and really play really similar. I don't know, and I'm not a college coach, but I don't know how you offer one of those guys without offering the other, just because they're so closely similar. And so, really proud for the opportunities that Jordan's gotten for himself. He's got some SEC offers, and I think, once those guys get out and hit the road recruiting this spring, I think that's gonna help them help Jordan out. That way he'll have more of a selection of what it is he wants to do.
You saw highlights of Jordan. He has an Ole Miss offer. That's pretty good. Here's another stud player who I've watched play for you, Coach, Jaden Mayfield, linebacker. He's got some stuff to him. In 6'1", 225, built, strong. What do you think of Jaden? Here's some highlights of Jaden.
He's a really special player. Quite possibly, I think Kyle calls him our Swiss Army knife. He does a lot of different things and allows us to be very versatile defensively, because he can line up. If you have a 3-down lineman package, he can line up and give you a fourth lineman. He can split out and cover a receiver. He just does a lot of different things. I expect the same thing that we talked about Jordan. I expect this spring, whenever people come out to see him, I expect for his offers, which I think he's got 6 or 8 offers from various different schools. But he is a really good football player.
Love his intensity. Louisiana Tech's offered him. Central Michigan coach told me. The other highlight we have is on Jordan Hayes, running back, who has big shoes to fill with Fields graduating. But Jordan can run, 5'9", but he's a little different. He's got a chance to step up for you this year. Some highlights on him.
Had a really good year as a sophomore. It's one of those things where, you plug him in at different times during the year. I thought, Coach Fobbs, Broderick Fobbs was our running backs coach during this past year, and I thought he came along really, really well. And his speed is something, you look at his highlights and you look at his breakaway speed, it's absolutely his best attribute. But to be such a small runner, he's really physical in between the tackles, and which is really unique. And so looking forward to seeing what he can do. And then, the other guy we didn't get to look at a whole lot, but we expect big things out of him and Dylon Brooks. And those two together will be the tandem that you see at running back for us this year.
Coach, we don't have time to talk about him. I'm going to go ahead and mention some guys coming back. Nate Johnson, a big-time safety for you, is coming back. Zai Scott, big tight end from your basketball team. Josh Brantley, a tall quarterback, taking over. Zarek Hill, a linebacker, a tough kid for you. Sam Nations, O-lineman. Cedric Rohn, Caleb Williams. Logan Malone, good receiver. Darius James, another Crow coming up. There's been like 10 of them coming up. Jacarion Crow. Peyton Bell, tough kid. There's a lot of guys, Coach, coming up. You lost a lot. Kylan Bradley's coming back. You lost some O-linemen, but, I mean, there's some guys coming back to help you. You know, I know you try and get your team and match everything in the spring, and that's what spring's for, but what do you think of this team coming up compared to what you had this past year?
Well, it'll be different. You know, anytime you lose a senior class that's really talented in some skill spots and up front, trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle to replace those is always big. And I think offensively we're going to look a little bit different as far as, you know, what we're hang our hat on offensively. But, you know, spring is always big to see. You know, we sling a bunch of stuff up against the wall and kind of see what sticks as far as what things we're able to do, and really looking forward to it. And, you know, as many guys as we bring back defensively, particularly up front, I think that's going to be the strong point of our football team early on in the season, while we bring the offense along and some different secondary guys. But we've got some guys in the secondary that have some experience.
You got a heck of a staff, Coach. I'm looking at these names right now. Kyle Williams, D coordinator. Earl Griffin, former Ruston player, offensive coordinator. Chad Reeder, offensive line. Steven Ensminger Jr., who I even talked to. He loves Ruston. He's from South Louisiana. His daddy, obviously, Steve Ensminger, LSU, former offensive coordinator. Kai Burrell was a heck of a college player, your tight ends coach. I don't know Ross, but running backs coach. Brian Beck, O-line. Ken Wright, man. DB coach. Rodney Bagwell, safeties coach. David Taylor. Frazier Hogan, that's a name I was in the magazine in the past. And Greg Hawkins, you got a video guy. That's always important, huh?
Yeah, it's more important than what you'd think, particularly for me.
Scouting.
Because I'm not I can't handle the video
Me either.
stuff. So, yeah, those guys are really good on the field and off the field. You know, anytime they put at the forefront of what it is they do, if they're interested in kids and what's best for them, I think that lends itself to be a really good staff. And working collectively together as a group is a really special group.
Before we go, Coach, tell me what you think of Louisiana Tech, what they're doing, Coach Cumbie, and then what's your thoughts of Kelly at LSU?
Well, I've had a chance to visit with both of those guys, and I think both programs are headed in a good direction with the guys that they've got. You know, I know Louisiana Tech struggled a little bit this year, but I think he's getting the pieces together to make a good program there, and I know Coach Kelly is too. So, you know, look forward to watching those guys.
Coach, appreciate what you do for high school football, and you do belong at Ruston High School. I know you're a tough guy. You've helped us. We did a cover shoot at Ruston 5 years ago, and you were out there setting up everything. Your helpers were still sleeping, I think, because this was 7 in the morning at Ruston. We were doing goodie bags. Coach helped us open up the lockers. You were out there setting up the water for the people coming, and you were on the tractor, whatever you were on, driving around, and you were an incredibly host for us at Ruston High School, and you do a great job, man.
Well, appreciate you and what you do. You've been doing this a long time, and, you know, I don't know that the kids and the fans really know how fortunate they are to have somebody like you that's willing to step out there and promote kids and promote football and sports, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach Baugh.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's Coach Baugh. We've got another show coming up that you're going to love. We're taping it, and you'll see it on Friday. It's a head coach from St. Frederick's. They say St. Fred's in Monroe. We're going to tell you who it is. Andy Robinson, the head coach, is going to be joining us for our Friday show. And be sure, again, to subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcast. If you're into the podcast, go to Podbean. That's where we are. Or wherever you get your podcasts, or go to YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen.